Last year, it was announced that the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix would be different from every other racing weekend that we would have this season, in that it would have a bare minimum of 2 stops per car. This was done because Monaco has been a certified snooze fest for just about as long as anybody can remember. Last year in 2024 was famously bad because of the lap 1 red flag, so that everybody just pitted. But we're not here to talk about that. My question today is this: was this 2-stop minimum change enough to make the race interesting? But a little recap of the weekend first. In FP1, I believe, it was Lance Stroll causing an accident with Charles Leclerc almost, I think it was like 10 minutes into the session. Regardless, he got a 1-place penalty for that. I've seen Hamilton also receiving a penalty for impeding, but this time it was in qualifying as he impeded Verstappen into turn two, the big long left-hander. He got a 3-place grid drop for that one. Leclerc was the fastest in every single practice session, which is fantastic to see. Love to see it. Into qualifying, Lando Norris sets the fastest pole position time with the first ever sub 70 second lap time. Let me say that again. Sub 70 seconds around Monaco. Just absolutely electric and unreal from Lando Norris. Incredible lap. Heading into the race, we had a pretty scrappy opening lap, especially from Bortoleto, who went by Antonelli, I believe, going into the Grand Hotel hairpin. And then Antonelli fought his way back going into Portier, I believe. And Bortoleto just kind of drove into the wall. There wasn't any contact from what I could tell. And Antonelli wasn't given a penalty, so I don't think there was contact. But that caused a VSC, and a good handful of drivers opted to take that 1-lap pit stop that a lot of people were thinking they would take. A couple of laps later, Gasly then had his own little moment, just braking a little bit too late, maybe 2 or 3 meters, and went into the back of I believe it was Sonoda, and completely messed up his car. Surprisingly, no VSC or safety car or anything. I'm pretty sure there was debris around, but he was able to drag that thing back to the pits, and then he retired there. After Gasly's crash, the marshals in the Nouvelle Chicane were waving double yellows, which maybe gave Piastri the wrong impression of what was going on, because he slowed way down and Verstappen gained like low-key 2 or 3 seconds on him, like just into that. And then on his way out, Verstappen knew it wasn't VSC or whatever it was, but Piastri was barely able to hang on to the spot, but Verstappen was not happy about that. After that, nothing really happened for like 25 laps, until, in proper Aston Martin fashion, Fernando Alonso's engine blew up. Somehow, after qualifying in the top 10 back-to-back weekends with that tractor of an Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso still has no points in the season. Liam Lawson scored points before Fernando Alonso. About halfway through the race, neither Antonelli nor George Russell had taken either of their 2 mandated pit stops. George Russell was stuck behind Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz in that 10-car-long train, if you watch the race. Alex Albon was going seconds per lap slower than he probably should have been, or at least off of general pace, to create a gap for Carlos Sainz to pit into. After about 30 laps behind Alex Albon, Russell was just pissed off. He was so frustrated. You could tell just from his his language and his radio messages. And then after, I want to say around 30 laps being behind Alex Albon, Russell tries to, honestly, I've never seen this before, he pretends to almost get in a car accident. It almost crash into Alex Albon and be like, oh, he braked too early. And I had to take evasive maneuvers to not rear-end him. And then he just straight up cut the Nouvelle chicane and just took the position. So I think he tried it once and then he gave it back, and then he tried it again the next lap, and he just never gave it back after that. He got like a 3, 4, 5 second gap, and then he was given a drive-through penalty, which fair enough, you shouldn't cut the corner. And then I think after the race he was given, or at least to the ending phases of the race, he was given another drive-through penalty because it was a purposeful corner cut, and he did it knowing that he would get a penalty, but he would just take the penalty anyways. So they gave him another one, so they added 30 seconds to his race time, supposedly. A couple laps later, Antonelli actually had a very similar incident. I don't think it was as intentional as Russell's was, but very similar situation where Alex Albon braked and Antonelli braked just a little bit too late, and he had to take evasive maneuvers to not rear-end Albon, but very crucially, in a different way than Russell, he gave the position back, because that's not how you race. But in all honesty, I think the last 20 laps of the race had every ingredient that it needed to be to have a star-struck ending to that race, to have just a fantastic ending to that race. But because it was Monaco, nobody could do anything. Like, multiple times Leclerc got within 0.3 of a second of Norris, 0.2 of a second of Norris, and still could not get past him. That's because this racetrack is what it is. That ending was absolutely unimpressive. Still, I'll give it credit, still somehow it was not the worst race of the year. That honor goes to Japan. So, was the 2 pit stop minimum enough to save the Monaco Grand Prix? No, absolutely not. Not even a little. The issue with Monaco is not the strategy. It's not the pit stops. It's the track. The track itself. It's too narrow. It's awkward in places where you need to have flowing corners. It's flowy when you need to slow down. It's too much. You don't there's no overtaking spots. You have turn 1 on lap 1, and then that's it. The rest of the race is 90% of the time determined by lap 1, turn 1, and then after that, everybody just balances itself out, and it becomes this boring parade around the streets of Monaco, which, that's cool. Monaco's a cool place. It's very pretty. Lovely mountains, harbor, beautiful, but it's Formula 1. We're supposed to be racing, not parading. On the F1 TV broadcast, I heard the commenters say that looking at the data that they saw, you needed about a 3 second per lap increase in pace over the car in front of you to have a chance at an overtake. A chance. And it wasn't an overtake as in send it up the inside or round the outside, or no. It was an overtake in terms of I pushed the car in front of me to the point where they make a mistake and then I just go around them. Oh my god, holy boring goodness. I understand that the drivers love this track, and this place is embedded into Formula 1. You can't have this Formula 1 history without Monaco. It's iconic, it's punishing, it's the most difficult place, this probably the second most difficult race in the world aside from the Isle of Man TD. But it's not good. it's not entertaining. It's not even much of a spectacle anymore, because it's just these big boats driving around, and that's it. There's no almost overtakes. There's no thoughts of passing, or the only thing is strategy, which didn't even make an effect when they added a second mandatory pit stop. Does every race need to be a spectacle? No. But this is an F1 race. This is the F1 race. And it's terrible. It's horrible. So what can we do to fix Monaco? There are three things, but really two things that I can think of. One, reprofile the track, just redo it, get rid of the Nouvelle chicane, get rid of that terrible final corner, straight line it through that chicane, and make the tunnel into a DRS straight. Is it a little bit too much speed for DRS? I don't think so. This isn't like a do in Japan turn 1 kind of thing where they're approaching at 180 miles an hour. I think it's like 120 by the time they really get there. I feel like that would be fine. Going through the new Nouvelle straight, I suppose. Like wall it off so that way it isn't like barriers sticking out into the track. I feel like that might be a tad bit of a safety issue. And I feel like that would give, a new overtaking opportunity into the new turn 10, I suppose, because there's no chicane anymore. The second thing that I can think of is something kind of similar to what IndyCar does, to where they have somewhat like a special car, or like a special, it's just a special car that they run, and it's not like that it's track specific, because there are like track specific wings and cooling vents and things like that they do, but make the whole thing Monaco specific. Make it nimble, make it, if you want to take the power down like a little bit, I feel like that would be okay. I feel like that would make overtaking a little bit easier. Now, if they do, make Monaco specific cars, that would be expensive. That would be a lot of designing, but there is an incentive. We could do double points for Monaco. I feel like because Monaco is so special and so unique, why not? So reward good finishes with these new expensive Monaco specific cars. And I feel like another thing would be qualifying points. I feel like in general qualifying points are good. At least like 1 point for pole. Pole position should get a point. I feel like, why not? That's you won a competitive session. I feel like you should get points. But for Monaco, because it's so special and so unique, maybe give points down to like 3rd or like 5th or whatever it is. I am kind of getting this from the IndyCar point system, specifically for the Indy 500. I think it's a little much to give points like way down for qualifying. So I don't think we should go any lower than 5th if we do. But if this actually does end up happening, then I feel like that would be a very good way to keep it new and like exciting, and especially with any whatever technical directive that the FIA is taking. Like this would just be like, it would still stand out as like not just another race weekend. It would be Monaco. It would definitely improve its uniqueness. A third thing that I can think of is just to get rid of it. I know that's like very unpopular, but just get rid of it. Like, why? It's historic. That's fine. It doesn't have to be around longer than it should be. If there is a thing about overstaying, you're welcome. And with the current cars that we have and the cruise ships that these guys are driving around track, maybe there is a point where it's like, wow, this track is not suitable for current racing. Like, that's, I hate to say it, but like, I know, because I hate to say it because Monaco is so special, and Monaco is Formula 1. Formula 1 is Monaco, hand in hand, perfect. But it gets to a point where it just isn't working anymore, and I'm thinking maybe it's sticking around so much because it's making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, because each ticket is like $10,000 just to show up. I don't know. Monaco needs to change, and I think the FIA mandating the two-stop was a good idea. It was a solid try. I can't blame them for trying, but it didn't work. It was still buns, still dookie. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments, though. Let me know what y'all thought about my ideas. Let me know what y'all think about Monaco, Formula One in general, anything like that. If this does well enough, I'm sure I'll start to do more of these. Like, subscribe, all that, yada yada yada. Yep. Bye, y'all.